How do you recruit new members to your team?
Recruitment is obviously a big topic because we are a student group, so people come to us during their studies, and when they are finished with their studies, they also leave again, sadly. So we always have to make sure that we have new people coming to the team, and that we can make new people have a passion for rocketry, so that they want to also apply their knowledge from universities. So what we do very actively is show ourselves around the university, around campus. So whenever there are some events or like get-togethers, then we try to actively participate. So in fairs, for example, or in other kind of displays where we can show our hardware, show what we do, and by that try to get the people into rocketry. This is something that we do very actively. Obviously also our social media presence contributes to that. So when I was thinking about where to study, I also stumbled across the website, for example, from WARR, and was like, hey, pretty cool what they are doing down there in Munich. So I decided to go. So this obviously contributes a lot as well. And then we basically do our recruitment on a semester basis. So in the beginning of every semester, we hold a bunch of recruitment events where we introduce the team and introduce new tasks and stuff that we want to achieve in that semester. And then from then on, we try to get the new people into the team, bringing them to our sub-team meetings and so on. And this aspect, I think Max can describe it pretty good, because he's actually running one of those sub-teams right now with the propulsion team.
We don't have an application process or anything like that, like we see from other teams. We basically let anyone join the team and then go from there with including them into all of the tasks and so on. So we get a lot of students every semester that join the team. We then most of the time have some issue in the beginning because we get so many to distribute the tasks and get them on board and start with the introduction of how we manage our tasks and so on. But then with time, over time, it's sort of clears out who really has the ambition to put in the work and also really is interested enough to keep going in the end. Yeah, I just wanted to make the point that we don't have a strict selection process. So each and everyone can join, and then we go from there.
We see ourselves as some kind of education institution besides university. So we give the students the opportunity to apply their theoretical knowledge in practical projects. So this is why we also say we are open for everyone, because they are not coming because they have like the skill set already. They are coming to us because with us they can actually learn what it means to develop a rocket or develop any other cool tech project and do applied engineering, applied sciences. So this is why we don't have any kind of selection process or don't require a certain set of skills when people come to us.
What can members learn from joining your team?
Again, in general, we don't expect any existing skills or knowledge. So you can actually learn just about anything we do. And I can just roughly line out from an electronics team perspective how we approach it, and then maybe you guys would like to add anything. But basically this year we had, for the first time, we kind of were forced to do like a really formal onboarding training for new members, because a lot of our old members, actually most of them, left. So it was like 2 people left. We had to kind of improvise. And basically what we did is, for a couple of weeks, we just did some workshops, and it was just focused on teaching members everything that we know. Some of the old members were helping with that. It took some time, but I think the investment was really worth it, because now we have a baseline and everyone has a basic amount of knowledge that they can now apply to their tasks. And of course, it takes some time to get used to tools and stuff, but I think some of the fundamentals to take care of this in the beginning makes a lot of sense in such a situation. And in terms of what type of stuff you can learn in the team, it's really the whole process. So really, I think one of the most profound things is, and that you definitely don't necessarily get taught in university, is like taking ownership of a system, basically, and designing it to a certain set of requirements. And I think this, you can think through it in theory, but like doing it in practice is a whole different beast. And I think this is one of the only ways that you can actually learn to do this. And working in a student team like WARR is a really great way to learn this. And once you have a system defined, designed. There's other tools that you get to use. For example, in the electronics team, you get to use PCB design tools. You get to design your circuits, design your circuit boards, assemble them. You get some manufacturing skills. We have access to really, really high-end machines that normally you would never be able to afford to use through the cooperation with Makerspace in Munich. So we have access to pick-and-place machines, soldering ovens, really fancy vapor phase stuff. And you get to learn micro soldering if you want to, and that kind of stuff. And then it translates also to the operations part, which I personally find really, really interesting as well. You get to know like how to integrate an electronic system inside of the final rocket. It's also really interesting, lots of interfaces to other teams that need to be taken care of. And yeah, it's also really valuable learning experience if you get to integration and you've neglected your interfaces, and then yeah, stuff goes wrong and you can really feel the consequences of your actions.
In my opinion, the biggest thing that you can learn at our association is that you can basically build anything if you are willing to invest the time into it, even without prior knowledge. This means putting the time in to learn the stuff and like really go deep into it. You can build anything. And this is also how we approach it in most of the sub teams. We don't have any regular workshops or anything like that to really transfer the knowledge in like a more systematic way. Most of the time, we just assign the tasks to members that are interested in them and want to put the time into the task. And then those students can like go out and try to solve the problems that they are facing. And then if they hit a wall or don't know how to go on from any point, they can ask other members if they have recommendations on how to approach this problem. And then that solves the issue most of the time. And yeah, in extreme cases, we then, for example, have to approach chairs at the university on guidance or more technical details on how to solve the issues. But yeah, most of the time we are able to solve it inside of the team.
I think the two most scenarios where I learned the most in WARR is, first of all, in testing scenarios. So when we test components, where we do integrated test, that's always the parts where I learn the most, because you have the whole system in front of you and you need to know how it works. You have all the members there that already know the stuff, but once they give you some sort of responsibility over a certain task, you need to, like Matthias said, or Max, I don't remember, you need to own your task. Wait, no, it was Bernhard. You need to own your task, and I think that's the most important stuff, because when I was thrown in, I was back then, I got the team leader for the aerostructures team in Project Cryosphere, and this was the time where I basically learned the most, because I was just thrown into the task, and I knew if I can't finish it, we won't fly. And this is when the responsibility needs you to take action, basically, and design your system and get help from others, of course, but also try to build it on your own or with your team. Let's put it like this. And yeah, in testing opportunities, I think it's also really valuable learning opportunities.